Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are reading from the Caitanya Bhagavata, Madhya Khanda, chapter 23. Wandering about Navadvip on the day the Lord delivered the Kasi. It was a very wonderful Leela of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That big Nagar Sankirtan and ultimately delivering Chand Kasi. That is the general background of this chapter. And we are reading from text 329 onwards. So that's Ye Nama Prabhave Tirtharajavanasi Yaha Gaya Shuddha Sattva Shweta Dvipavasi. By the influence of these names, Varanasi has become celebrated as the king of holy places. The transcendently situated residents of Shweta chant these holy names. So, this is continuation of the people who are the Vaishnavas who are taking part in this big chanting. They are talking. You know, each one is talking a different thing. So, in that, they are talking about the influence of the holy name. Ye Nama Prabhave Tirtharaja Varanasi. They are saying that Varanasi is known as Tirtharaja because of the Prabhav of the Nam. And who is chanting? It is said here, the commentary. The five-headed Mahadev resides in Varanasi and chants the holy name of the Lord. Therefore, Varanasi is the primary Tirtha or a primary place of learning. The transcendently situated associates of the Supreme Lord residing in Shweta remain free from the three modes of material nature by singing the glories of the holy names. Now, the holy name is so powerful, not different from the Supreme Lord. The vibration of the holy name in the form of sound is actually Sakshat Bhagavan. There is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. And that is applicable only to the transcendental holy names of the Supreme Lord Krishna. It is not applicable to some other name. And here they are talking about Varanasi being the Tirtharaja. Varanasi is very famous in Bharatavarsha, being Moksha Sthala or Mukti Sthala as it is called. Two rivers named Varuna and Asi, they are joining in that place along with Ganga. So that is why that place itself is called Varunasi. It used to be called, then it became Varanasi. And Varanasi is very famous because for Lord Shiva, Kashi, Vishwanath, Lord Shiva. And also it is the first Jyotirlinga, that is the Lord's famous places of pilgrimage for the devotees of Lord Shiva. So Varanasi is ranking right on top there as a Moksha Sthala. And it is also said that anybody who dies in Varanasi immediately, their body is burnt on the bank of the Ganga. And they say that there is no returning back to the material world if you die in Varanasi. These are all the glories of this place called Varanasi or Kashi, and where Ganga is also present, Mahadev is also present, Mother Parvati is present as Annapurna, and for Vaishnavas, Lord Bindu Madhava is also present. So it's a very auspicious place, and it is Auspicious because Lord Shiva is constantly vibrating the holy names of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it acts as its strength to act as Muktisthala comes out of the fact that Lord Shiva is constantly meditating on Sankarshana and chanting his holy names. So therefore. And then in the second part of the shloka, they are talking about the residents of Shvetadvipa. Residents of Shvetadvip, you know, they're also Yaha Gaya Shuddha Sattva Shvetadvipa Vasi. So they are remaining in Shuddha Sattva. They are always in a state beyond the three modes of material nature because they are also always singing the glories of the holy name. So, holy name is actually very powerful. It is so powerful that simply by vibrating it, you can immediately become free from all material bondages. One can immediately become free from all the sinful reactions of one's previous karmas. In fact, the glories of the holy name, just like the Supreme Lord, they're also unlimited. For discussion purpose, we discuss the glories of the holy name as this, and this, etc., etc. However, we must understand, just like the glories of the Supreme Lord is unlimited, we can never estimate, we can never count the glories of the Supreme Lord. Similarly, the Lord's holy names also has got innumerable, asankhya, aprameya, aparimita, whatever word you want to use, you can use. Glories are unlimited. So, even in the higher planetary systems, people, the inhabitants of the higher planetary systems, they also vibrate the holy name in their tongues because they also want to be free from the three modes of material nature. Sarvavandya Maheshwara Yenam Prabhave Tena Nama Sarvaloke Sune Bale Ebe. Maheshwara has become worshipable by all by the influence of these names. Now everyone is hearing and chanting these names. Mahadev is worshipable by all the demigods. Demigods and human beings chant the holy names after hearing them from Mahadeva. The Vishnu Swami Sampradaya, which comes from Rudra, its original founder, was inaugurated 200 years before the advent of Christ in the province of Madura. In that line appeared Lakshmidhara, the author of Nama Kaumadi, and his brother Sridhara Swami Pada, whose compositions are based on Shuddhadvaita philosophy. Both describe the glories of the holy names in their writing. Sri Sanatan Goswami Prabhu has glorified the book Sri Nama Kaumadi. The descendants of Premakar and others, family gurus of Vallabhacharya, did not realize the inconceivable glories of the holy names. So, this Lord Mahadev, he is worshipable by all the devatas. And although we refer to him as a devata, we understand our philosophy. In our line of understanding, we accept Lord Shiva as a separate tattva. He is not Jiva tattva, he is not Vishnu tattva. He is in between these two tattvas. So he has got a very specially unique position in the creation. He has got a very specially unique, very empowered position in the creation, to the extent that he is even considered above his own father, Lord Brahma. That is the status of the Maheshwara. So here they are saying he becomes worshipable because he is constantly chanting the holy name. He is fixed. His concentration is always fixed on the Supreme Lord. He is always meditating on the Supreme Lord, chanting the names and the glories of the Supreme Lord. And it is said that he always, Lord Shiva, remains in a constant state of ecstasy. And because of that, he is completely materially unaffected, Lord Shiva. Completely unaffected by material nature, although he is constantly in what you call it, touch with material nature. Why? Because his wife is only Prakriti, she is only Durga. But still, he maintains that ecstasy because of his constant remembrance and chanting of the names of the Supreme Lord, always remembering the activities of the Supreme Lord. So, this is one example of somebody who is perfectly situated in Krishna consciousness. We can always see and become inspired by the example of Mahadev, Lord Shiva. And we know that he also has a sampradaya after him. So that makes him also one of the Vaishnava acharyas in that sense. Henanama lao chada sarva apakara bhaja vishwambara nahe karimu samhara. Chant these holy names, give up all wicked activities and worship Vishwambara. Otherwise, I will destroy you. Simply by giving up the desire for engaging in any type of harmful activity, one develops a propensity for chanting the Lord's names. As maintainer of the entire world, Vishwambara Gaursundara has maintained the entire world by distributing the holy names. Sri Gaursundara and his intimate servant Dharmaraja are eager to completely destroy the sinful conceptions of those who are opposed to chanting the holy names. So here he speaks about, because Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he is also the maintainer of the universe. So when he appeared as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he chooses to maintain the Jagat by distributing the holy names. So he's not simply maintaining the Jagat, until its dissolution. Rather, his way of maintaining is by distributing the holy names of the Supreme Lord. So what happens in that maintenance is that whoever takes it up can all go back to Godhead and not return back to the material world. So how wonderful that is. That is why he is Mahavadanyaya. He is the most munificent, he is the most merciful. Because not simply maintaining the material world, maintaining the material world through the distribution of the holy names of Krishna. So in that, whoever gets maintained in that way also gets the chance. The door for liberation from material existence is open to everyone who takes up to the process of chanting the holy name as given by Sri Chaitanya. So actually he has made this process so easy. We must understand that. We shouldn't take it for granted in any sense, but we should know that by the special, extraordinary, merciful nature of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is actually open for each and every chanter of the Hare Krishna. So that makes us the most privileged people in the entire universe, in the entire creation. And it is said that Yamaraj also is very keen to see that all the people take up the chanting of the holy name and go back to Godhead. Because for him, he is one of the 12 Mahajanas who knows the Bhagavata Tattva Nihitam Guhayam. He knows the Tattva, which is very, very secret. So therefore, for him, this job of being a judge, executor of punishment, that is not a very enjoyable one for him. It's actually a very austere position to be Yamaraja in this material universe. Because punishing people, bringing papis, and then, executing the necessary orders, getting people to execute the necessary orders. So that is actually not a very enjoyable position. It's not an enjoyable position. But because he is a Mahajana, he is so surrendered to the Supreme Lord, he is able to do that. Just imagine Otherwise, any other ordinary living entity will not be able to execute this type of an order of the Supreme Lord. That is, line up all the jivas who are papis, bring them to your place and then, uh, put them through various types of punishment. I don't think any devotee would want a service like that. Right? No devotee would want a service where you have to punish the jivas. So it's a very, what can we say, highly austere service that Yamaraja is doing. Everybody wants to be engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, but we also want that service to be transcendently joyful, right? That is the whole idea of being in devotional service. But you see, Yamaraj, he has got this service which is not at all transcendently joyful. But he is always transcendently situated because he is a Mahajana. And because he is a Mahajana, he is able to execute that to the satisfaction of the Supreme. So here it is said that he actually likes it when the jivas can take up the chanting of the holy name. So immediately he can wipe out, all his books of accounts of that particular jiva. He can erase from his system. His system is already overloaded with all the records of the papas done by all the jivas in the material world. So his data system is, far, far, far beyond our imagination. That much data he has got of all our papas. But he can lighten his hard drive when people start chanting Hare Krishna Mantra. Because he knows that all the previous accounts are getting erased. So he is actually very happy and very ecstatic when people start chanting. So he is very happy. Arajana Sabha Dishe Radha Diyaya Dhara Dhara Kotha Kaji Mandiya Palaya. Some people ran around in all directions calling, catch the Kazi. He has tricked us and escaped somewhere. Krishnera Kirtana Ye Papi Nahimane Vatha Gela Sesakala Pashanti Ekhane. Now, where are those sinful atheists who did not accept the chanting of Krishna's names? So, one thing is, the Kazi actually, he is not the biggest offender in one sense. Because he had no clear idea of what was happening. And he was misguided by atheists who are part of the same dharma, but they were atheists, they were against this chanting of the holy name. They were the ones who instigated the Kazi against the chanting of the holy name. So here, the chanters, they are asking, where are those sinful atheists who do not accept chanting of Krishna's names? When sinful people's aversion to Supreme Lord becomes prominent, they are unwilling to accept the remedy of Krishna Kirtan. Since people opposed to Kirtan equate the subordinate demigods with the Supreme Lord, they are called Pashandis. It is the nature of Pashandis to count the names of subordinate demigods as equal to Krishna Kirtan. The names of Krishna are spiritual names, while the names of the demigods are mundane. There is a difference between the names of demigods and demigods themselves. Therefore, the endeavor to equate Krishna's name with the demigod's name, which are separate from Krishna's names, is one of the 10 offenses in the chanting of the holy names. So, Pashandi is also somebody who considers that chanting of any name, it's all one and the same, which is actually a very great offense. It is among the 10 aparadhas that goes against the holy name. Is to consider names of demigods to be equal to the names of. Now we must understand that these devatas, these Adityas, Rudras, Vasus, Maruts, you name them, all the so-called 33 crore demigods, they are all actually falling within that 400,000 species of human beings only. They are not some other species. They are within that 8,400,000 species of living entities They just happen to be within that 400,000 humans. Better humans, worse humans, asuras, rakshasas, kinnara, gandharva, charana, siddha, deva, aditya, vasu. All these categories are within that 400,000 species of human beings. So all of us fall under that same category. We are not equal to our name. Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varuna, all these things, their names are not themselves as personalities. Okay. So therefore, thinking that chanting any one name will have the same effect as chanting Krishna, that means you're offending the Supreme Lord. Because there is only one worshipable Supreme Lord. He is the only one worthy of worship. Everybody else is in the position of a worshipper only. So you cannot take the name of a worshipper and say that that is equal to that worshipable person's name. We cannot. So therefore, considering that, all God is one, although it may sound like a very lofty spiritual stand, it is not. It is an ill-informed stance that one takes. Consider all names to be equal. So they are also referred to as Pashandis or atheists. Why? Because considering everyone to be equal to God, you are rejecting God. In effect, your action is that of rejecting God. Therefore, therefore such a person is a Pashandi. In other words, atheist. So now they are searching, they are asking, where are all those Pashandis who are averse to Krishna Kirtana? Even in the modern world, we will find many people who are averse to Krishna Kirtana. They will say, why are you singing only Krishna's names? Why are you not singing all the other names? After all, there are also, so many bhajana in all the other devatas' names. Why don't you sing those names? Because they like to sing all these names intertwined with one another. So that they think that, we don't want to displease any particular person. So let us take every name possible like that. So all those people, they come under the category of people who are envious of Krishna's names. Why? Because although they take the name, they think that taking Krishna's name and taking any other Devata's name is all the same. So even though they vibrate the holy name with the tongue, but because their consciousness is inimical, so they are Pashandis. So this is a very subtle thing. Understand. It's very subtle. We may not be able to immediately catch, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can catch. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can very easily catch all such personalities. Hey Mata Krishnera Unmade Sarvakshana Kiba Bale Kiba Kare Nahika Smarana. In this way, being always maddened with ecstasy of Krishna consciousness, they did not remember what they said or what they did. All the devotees who were in that chanting party, the 200,000 devotees who accompanied Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Chandkazi's place, they were all completely maddened. Unmatta. Unmatta means to become mad. Actually, in this world, in the material world, everybody is unmatta only. Everybody is unmatta, but not mad by the chanting of the holy name, but mad because of constant interaction with matter. That madness is there in everybody. It manifests in various forms. It manifests in various different behavioral patterns. But all those are states of Madhya or material madness. Everybody is mad about something or the other. And their behavior will manifest that particular madness. It's there with everybody. So that propensity is there. But what we have to become mad by chanting the holy names of Krishna. That is one thing we are not mad about. That is our greatest shortcoming. We are running madly after so many things, like Srila Prabhupada used to say. Running madly after all sorts of material things. Thinking that those things will bring us everlasting happiness, peace, ecstasy, whatnot. But such madness does not end very auspiciously. It is always destined to end in doom only. Why? Because all that is matter is bound to be destroyed. So, any type of running after matter, you may consider all different types of gross and subtle running that we do after material things. Some running is very gross, some running is very subtle. But ultimately, everybody is madly running after subtle and gross material things. And they all have the same result. They end in doom, they end in distress, they end in misery. But those who are mad after chanting of the holy name, they will end up in ecstasy. Just as previously we were reading, Lord Shiva is always in ecstatic mood. You know, he does not know what is misery. He has never seen misery. Although he may be seen as sitting in the crematorium with the ashes from the dead body, that is what he is smearing on his body. But he is ecstatic. He is transcendently joyful, content, not affected by anything in the material world. Whereas we are, very well dressed like a gentleman, as Srila Prabhupada used to say, wearing all sorts of perfumed substances and everything. But we are miserable with all the fine jewelry and fine clothing and fine perfume, fine home, fine car, fine everything. Simply, we the soul, we are not fine. Everything else is. But one who is unmatta in the holy name of the Lord is actually always fine. And see, now what happens? Nagariya Sakalera Unmada Dekhiya Maraye Pashandi Sabha Jwaliya Pudiya. Another natural outcome. As the atheists saw the maddened condition of the townspeople, they burned with envy. The atheists who maintained the mentality of opposing the process of worshipping and chanting the holy names always burned with envy and invoked one of the 10 types of death. To extinguish the fire in their bodies, they enviously became hostile to the devotees. This is another indication of a Pashandi. This is another indication of a Pashandi. That neither will you be happy chanting the holy name, nor will you be happy seeing somebody else chanting the holy name. Correct? That is, if that is our condition, then that means we are Pashandi. But we can see many people in this world like that. Neither will they chant and become happy, nor will they see other people being happy in chanting. Pashandi, enviousness. And if you are having enviousness towards a Vaishnava, then you are completely doomed. Such a person is completely doomed because he will never have taste of the holy name. Because Vaishnava is singing, dancing, being ecstatic, being mad, chanting the holy name of Krishna. He is actually benefiting all the living entities around him, even by his expression of ecstasy. He is benefiting all the living entities around him, loudly crying and chanting the holy name. Even other living entities who cannot chant, they are all getting the benefit of hearing. So, therefore, it is not only that he is benefiting that he has come to the stage of ecstasy, by his activity, he is also benefiting so many other living entities. And when we become envious of such a Vaishnava and his behavior and seeing that he is, in transcendental happiness chanting the holy name, if we become envious, then our position becomes the most dangerous in this material world. Developing envy towards the Vaishnava. Pashandi. Eventually, we will become Pashandi. Their bodies are burning, seeing that these devotees are so ecstatically chanting the holy. The Pashandi, the non-believer, cannot understand this. He will not be able to digest it. He will be thinking, how can these people be so happy? Correct? Because he's thinking, I am doing so many things to try and become happy, but in spite of all my effort, I am not happy. Whereas these people, they don't have anything else except this standing of the holy name, and they are always so ecstatically happy. They are not ordinarily happy. They are ecstatically happy. Whereas I, the Pashandi, is trying to become at least ordinarily happy, I am failing. These people, without trying, without running after it, simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, of the Supreme Lord, these people are ecstatically happy. So such a person will feel very, very miserable. Then, so what they do? Sakala Pashandi Meli Gane Gane Mane Mane Gosani Karena Kaji Aise Khane. Then the atheists all simultaneously desired, if the Lord is willing, let the Kazi come now. Kothayaya Ranga Dhanga, Kothayaya Dhaka, Kothayaya Nata Gita, Kothayaya Janka. Then what will happen to all this pomp and fun? What will happen to the loud screaming? What will happen to the dancing and singing? What will happen to their big show? Kothayaya Kala Ponta, Kotha Gata Amas Amrasara, Eisakala Vachanera, Shodhi Tabedhara. Then what will happen to their banana leaves, water pots, and mango leaves? Then they will receive a suitable reward for their threats. So now practically they are praying to the Lord to bring the Kazi on the scene. Why? Because they are not able to tolerate even for a second that these Vaishnavas are enjoying so much, singing, dancing, all the things are going on. So now they are praying to the Lord, oh Lord, please let Kazi come now. Just see the height of enviousness of these people. Why? When Kazi comes, he will stop these people. Then all their happiness will stop. Their dancing will stop, singing will stop. We may wonder, do such people exist? They do exist. Believe me, I have experience. Such people do exist. Somehow they want devotees to stop chanting so that devotees, they can see that devotees are miserable. Like this. Many Pashantis like this. In fact, they are the majority. Because chanter is always in the minority. Anyway. Yata deka mahatapa dayuti sakala. Yata deka hera sabha bhavaka mandala. The Kazi will see all these big torches and he will see all these sentimental devotees. So these atheists are thinking that these devotees are sentimental. This is another misconception that people have. especially people who don't follow this way of chanting and hearing the holy name, glorifying the holy name of the Lord, chanting the holy name of the Lord, glorifying the activities of the Lord, that personal devotional service is something very special. And those people who are not following that, for whatever reason, he may be yogi, jnani, karma yogi, hatha, ashtanga, whatever, they cannot see the position of the devotee. How this particular process, is based on Vedic knowledge. They are thinking that this person who is always hearing and chanting and being ecstatic, they think it is a sentiment. They think it is something, a vihara of the mind, that this devotee is behaving like that. But actually, such behavior of the pure devotee of the Lord is actually on the platform of the Atma, because he has overcome that mind, intelligence, false ego trio, he has overcome. And then on the platform of Atma, acting as the soul in his constitutional position, he is standing the holy name of the Lord. And therefore, by that activity, he becomes transcendently happy. So he expresses that happiness through all the ecstatic moods, crying, laughing, rolling on the ground, all the ashtasatvika vikaras. That is a result of mature, pure bhakti. But other people will consider that to be sentiment. Other people will consider that to be sentimental. They don't understand that this bhakta is actually the topmost yogi. This bhakta is actually the topmost jnani, because all those things have already manifested in him. And this ecstasy that is manifesting in him is actually beyond whatever is seen as manifesting in the yogi or the jnani or whoever other else is there. So they think that these ashtasattvic vikaras, this expression of bhava is something sentimental. It is not. It is very rarely attained. It is very, very rarely attained. So it should never be considered as some cheap sentiment. Prabhupada uses the word cheap sentiment in many places. So also, devotees should also try to understand that this is not something sentimental. Therefore, we also should not approach our devotional service in a sentimental manner. Gandagola suniye aise kaji abe sabara gangaya jhampa dekhi bana tabe. Then Kazi will also hear the great commotion, and then we will see all the devotees jump into the Ganga. Kehabale muni tabe nikate thakiya nagariya sabha dena galaya bandhiya. Someone else said, then I will stay around and bind all these fellows by the neck and turn them in. Now you see these are all the expression of the mind of the Pashandis. One is saying, I will see all of them jump into the Ganga. Why? Because the Kazi will chase all of them. He will ban them. He will ask them to stop singing. So they will all jump into the Ganga. So this is an expression that shows us how the Pashandi, how really fallen he is. At what level is his consciousness that he is actually looking forward to seeing devotees chanting the holy name of the Lord jump into the Ganga in fear of the Kazi, who is supposed to come and put the fear of death in their heart, something like that. So the Pashandi is thinking, oh, I will be able to see that. Just see, this is called enviousness. This is real enviousness. To see or desiring to see a harm come on a devotee. Desiring to see a harm come upon a devotee. That is the lowest among the Pashandis. And then they are saying, then I'll stay around and bind all these fellows' necks, Nerros by the neck, and turn them in. So they're planning, we will catch them and give them to the Qazi so that he can put them in jail and put them through them trouble. Keha bale chalayai kajire kahite, keha bale tinahe yamana karite. So another Pashandi said, no, let us go and tell Qazi. So then someone else said, no, that is not a very good thing. So among Pashandis also you have little bit better Pashandi and somewhat worse Pashandi. Keha bale bhai sabha eka yukti ache, sabe rada diya yai bhava kerakache. Someone said, oh brothers, I have an idea. Let us quickly approach those sentimental devotees. Aise kariya kaji vachana tolai, taba eka jana ona rahibe tarak ani. We will then tell them the Qazi is coming, then not even a single person will remain. So another man says that we don't have to take all the trouble of going and telling the Qazi and bringing the Qazi and all. Just go to these fellows, tell them, Qazi is coming. Just by hearing the name of Qazi, they will all run off. They will all run off because they are so scared. So this is again how the non-believer is underestimating the ability of the devotee who is chanting the holy name. They are thinking simply by threatening, these people will stop chanting. So again, what is their aim? Their aim is that people should not chant Hare. People should not chant Hare. Just imagine, during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, such people existed. So what to speak of now in our current situation? So there will always be people who are inimical. There will always be people who don't accept the process of chanting of the Holy. There will always be people who are actually ill-wishers of devotees. They would be secretly wishing that let some calamity befall this fellow. Then everybody will realize that this chanting of the holy name is not all that auspicious. That is how they think. Let a tragedy, let a danger befall upon this devotee so that it will influence other devotees and make them stay away from chanting of the holy name. So all these things are here. It is what it is bringing out is the actual the feeling that the non-devotee is having in his heart. Those people who are inimical towards the chanting of the Holy. So this is actually, although this chapter seems to be flowing very smoothly, it also brings out some very deep truths that we have to see. Eimata Pashandiya Pana Kaya Mane Chaitanyara Gana Matta Srihari Kirtane. In this way, the atheists conspired among themselves, while Lord Chaitanya's associates became maddened by the chanting of glories of God. So two things happening simultaneously. On one hand, the followers of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, all of them are very happily chanting, and all of them are experiencing transcendental bliss. And on the other hand, there is this small group of atheists who are also hearing the chanting of the holy name. Okay, they are also doing Shravana, but of no use. Why? Because by hearing the holy name, they are becoming more and more inimical. They are becoming more and more inimical. They can't stand it. But on the other hand, devotees, they are completely, transcendently blissful. Nadiyara ekante nagara simuliya, nachite nachite prabhu utari lagiya. As the Lord danced down the road, he came to the village of Simulia, which was situated on the outskirts of Madhya. Ananta Arbuda Mukhe Hari Dwani Suni Kunkara Kariya Nache Dvija Kulamani. Unlimited millions of people chanted the name of Hari as the crest jewel of Brahmanas danced and roared loudly. Seikamala Nayaneva Kata Ache Jala Katekava Dhara Vahe Parama Nirmala. Who knows how much pure water in how many streams flowed from the lotus eyes of the Lord? We all know that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of Prema Bhakti. He epitomizes the chanting of the holy name. And what level this chanting of the holy name can raise one to? We can all become raised to that transcendental level simply by the chanting of Hare Krishna. Chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra loudly, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra without aparadha, we can all reach that transcendental bliss. So, Mahaprabhu made thousands and lakhs of people chant the names of Lord Hari. And he was leading all of them. So, on one hand, Mahaprabhu is enjoying the chanting of the holy name. Himself is enjoying. And tears are incessantly flowing from his eyes. Here it is said like rivers. Tears are flowing from Mahaprabhu's eyes like rivers. We will chant for years and years and years together, and only water coming out of the eye is when some dust goes into the eye while chanting. Otherwise, there is no water coming out of the eye. But here it is said that, river flowing out of the eyes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the actual effect that chanting produces. So on one hand, Mahaprabhu is exhibiting that. On the other hand, his Uddeshya or his whole idea of appearing as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, on one hand, is to experience the bliss himself. On the other hand, he also wants everybody to experience that bliss. He wants to lead them by his own example. So all those people following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're also chanting in ecstasy. And everybody, for everyone who followed him in chanting Hare Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu opened the doors to Prema Bhakti for all of them. And that door is kept open by Srila Prabhupada and all the great Vaishnavas, so that everybody can enter and loot all the prema that one wants. Facilities available for everyone. Even now, facilities available. New people can come and take advantage of this facility. Even if somebody is not so friendly, they can also try out the facility, and I'm sure they will like it. So therefore, this opportunity to chant the holy name that we have received is the greatest wealth that we can possess in this lifetime. This opportunity that we have got, chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. This is our greatest wealth. This storehouse is open. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has opened it, and Prabhupada has distributed it. So that is our position. Extremely fortunate to be in this position. So I will stop here. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki Jai. Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Such a nice class, Prabhuji, so deep, and your glorification. You did glorify the name of holy name of, and also you just glorify the Shivji, how he always meditate on uh, the Lord and the constantly vibrate from his mouth the holy name. And he always situated in trance. Yeah. So very, very nice. And also you just talk about almost whole class about the Pashandi people, how they are. And in this age of Kali, we can see so many people are Pashandis. They cannot bear if the people, the devotee or people who they chant the holy name, and they don't like to chant, but if they see the other people, they don't like either. They are so envious. And they
You'll
always
find
think
many
about,
Pashandis in our own families, very unfortunately.
yes, yes. And also they thinks about the, oh, they are, when the people, the devotee, they got ecstatic mood, and they say, oh, they are so sentimental. Yeah, real, such a nice, you just explain everything in detail. And
I'll just add
yeah.
one thing. I had actually many years back in our congregation, we used to have one person who would come regularly.
Mm,
And every time he will say, "You people are simply acting. You people
yeah.
are acting. You people are acting." And next week he will again come. He will stand, while Kirtan is going on, he'll stand on the side. After program is over, he'll come and tell me, "You people are acting."
Yeah,
Practically came for 1 year. Every week he would come and he will say, "You people are acting."
yeah,
So all kinds of, when we read these portions, and when I am able to relate, people, there are so many people like that. What?
yeah. They also, desire that the if the devotee gets something, they are so happy and they say, oh, there should be some harm to the devotee, right? That they should get something
Exactly.
harm. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and but we are so fortunate that we are under the umbrella of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and we got a real greatest wealth to chant the holy name. And then, if we chant offenselessly, then we can go home back to Godhead. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's give the promise, and Prabhupada also give the promise. Whoever they just hold my dhoti, they will come over there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, so nice, Prabhuji, so nice. So, Prabhuji, you have time?
Yeah, definitely.
So, dear devotees, who have some realization or something to add, anything?
Yeah, please.
Prabhuji is
Please go ahead.
here. Please go ahead.
Donald Pranam Prabhuji. Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, very nice class, Prabhuji, about the chanting. I feel like chanting right now. Okay. Uh, I was, you were telling that, these envious people, they're everywhere. And when devotees chant, don't they get some sukruti because of hearing Harinam? Even if they are envious, don't they get
Yeah.
some kind of spiritual they want?
See, when somebody is extremely envious, it's very
Uh-huh.
difficult.
Oh, I see.
You know, even though
Mm.
they hear, they don't hear. That's the problem.
Oh, that's the. Mm. Because
Even
I
though they
hear Sri
hear, they
Prabhupada
don't hear. So
sometimes
unless they
say,
get the mercy of a pure devotee,
right. Mhm.
some personal association, it is very difficult.
Oh, okay. Right.
Everybody is envious to some extent. There is no doubt
Mm.
about it. There are some people who are really inimical towards devotees. They hate. There are people who hate the Hare Krishnas. They'll
Mm.
give you so many, reasons why. I'm talking about, see, in other countries, they will say these people are nuisance. That kind of hatred you will find. You you see in India, you will find a different type of hatred. They will say these people are manufactured a new religion,
Mm.
and this is not what we used to do, and things like that. So everywhere there are envious people. But some people, they may not be overly envious. So those people stand a much better chance.
Right.
Some people, sometimes they come with, an idea of, see, I will expose you, I will show what you are. And when they come inside and then they actually see that the process is very genuine, then although they came to expose us, they become exposed to Krishna consciousness and they become Krishna consciousness themselves.
Yeah, right.
That also happens. So that benefit is there.
Right.
But somebody who is totally, absolutely against, he stops that benefit, by his attitude.
About this Saturday, I'm invited to give 5 minutes talk to interfaith a conference which they're holding at Mormon's Church, here in Las Vegas. So I tend to go with our friends and at least chant at least few times. I think that should benefit some of those who are not envious of other faiths.
Absolutely.
And, yes.
Especially if they are Christians, because for them also chanting of the holy name is a very important part of their faith.
Right. Even the Bible says, "Hallowed be thy name."
Yeah, hallowed be thy name. Prabhupada always used to quote that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And also in Islam, they have to chant, I think they have 99 names of Allah.
Right.
So they also do in their tasbih, their beads have, I think, 98 or 99, I'm not sure. So I apologize if I'm wrong. But they also have to chant the 98 or that many names of Allah they have. So that is a daily sadhana, they have to chant. So chanting of the name of God is always, it is there in all types of faith.
Faith, yeah.
So that is a common denominator we can.
Right. Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Mataji. Somebody raised a hand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for a wonderful lecture, Prabhuji. In continuation to what you just said, that they also chant 99 names of Allah. Prabhuji, after doing what they are doing, how are they the way they are? Why are they the way they are? Sorry. Because they are envious of other faiths, right? Even though they are chanting, they are reading 5 times a day or praying 5 times a day, they are still envious of other faiths and they cause harm to other people. What happens to such people if they are chanting the name of the...
that the problem is that they have not, it is because of a poor understanding of the process. Because all these processes are actually meant to develop love of God. Prabhupada says this very clearly. All the different processes, what different religions profess, they are all meant to make that follower love God. And as an extension, love all creation of God. So if that is not being achieved, that means they are following the process improperly, imperfectly. In many cases, they are following the process, but acting in the opposite direction. That is only explanation for that. This is not to put any particular follower of any particular faith into any kind of a negative.
Yeah, but usually you see that kind of
process will work if you stick to it, understanding the science behind the process. But if you get carried away by some side benefit and peripheral things, then it will not work. You understand?
Okay, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one more small question, if I can ask. Prabhuji, suppose if somebody recognizes, that this is my envy, how can one get rid of the envy? If you recognize, okay, that this, if I think like this, this is enviousness. If a person
that itself is a very great step.
Okay.
If I understand that I am envious, I have won half the battle. The biggest problem is that I never feel that I am envious. I always feel others are envious of me. But the moment I feel that I also have Matsarya, immediately I will address it.
And
If
how to
genuinely feel
Hmm.
I recognize that I have envy, immediately I will correct myself.
Okay.
The moment you realize you're envious of other people, then you want to focus on yourself and get rid of that envy. That is a natural reaction to me identifying that I am envious.
Hmm.
Because I know that this is one thing that will stop me from going back home, back to God.
Hmm.
This is one thing I cannot carry with me there.
Hmm.
Everything else can be accommodated. This one thing cannot be accommodated. So if I'm a serious practitioner of bhakti, the moment I understand or the moment I identify that I am envious of this person for this reason, I am envious of this person for this reason, immediately you want to get rid of that.
And how to do that, Prabhu? Just chanting?
You can, if we feel envy towards a certain person, then we must mentally and verbally glorify that person,
Okay.
his services.
Hmm.
Understand?
Okay.
That will help. That is also recommended that by within ourselves and openly glorifying that person towards whom we feel envy. Because why you actually feel envy? It is because he is more glorious than me. That is the reason why I am envious. So I have to acknowledge that yes, he is more glorious. He knows better. He is a better devotee. He is a better practitioner. You understand? He does things better than me. Acknowledging that openly and within myself, then automatically I become less envious, and eventually it will.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you for this very, very wonderful class, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams. Thank you once again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Yes, Mataji.
Quick question, Prabhuji. Sorry, I know I'm taking it's time. Prabhuji, there was a family who used to chant 8 rounds. They were there with us for some time, and then they came in contact with some religious group, some other temples, and they instructed them not to chant and not to have our association. It means the enviousness, you can say, and they left the the congregation itself, and now they are they are we came to know that they are chanting, but they are not coming. So they are chanting will not have any, because they are not having any association, will not will their chanting will not help them in any way? Will they be able to
Definitely, chanting will help, but
mm,
lack of association will eventually wean them away from the whatever chanting is left.
mm, yeah,
So either we should try and give some kind of association, very neutral type of association we should give.
yes, Prabhuji. So every time we are concerned about them, we know that
Some
they have been
neutral association meaning,
mm,
uh, sometimes it works to try to be very general about things.
mm. Just
You
calling
understand?
them for some festivals as
Yeah,
such.
some
Mm.
social interaction kind of.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You understand? Not the thing is, when it is a satsanga, it is a you are boxing people into something.
Correct.
We have a formula, so we apply that formula. Sometimes it doesn't. The formula doesn't work the same way with everyone.
Okay.
So with such people, we can have one-on-one interaction, some social gathering, so that, and we don't speak too much about the subject matter. Generally, we inquire about their well-being and like
Mm.
that, some neutral association. So after some time again, once we regain their confidence, then again we can
Resume that.
resume.
Uh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
getting the confidence back, that is the most important. For
Yes.
that, we will have to go out of the way and do things.
Yes, Prabhuji. 1 year they
Instead of
came.
simply saying that, you lost association, you are unfortunate,
Oh,
your
okay.
Bhakti Lata now will become wrinkled and things like that. We shouldn't be negative at all.
Very nice. Okay. Okay, Prabhu.
You should encourage, oh, it's very nice that you are still chanting.
Mm.
Or you can say, please do visit, or we will visit, not for satsang, We just want to visit. We can visit like that. There's nothing wrong. We will not come and chant there. We will not come and give class there. We will just come to see you. People will not say no.
No, Prabhuji, they have been fed that. I came to know that they are very dangerous people. Once they get hold of you, finished. They'll put you into some this one. Be away from that association, like that. They have been, yeah.
Yeah, I know. That is how people will give
Yeah,
propaganda about us.
yeah. This is the thing, and that's a very. It's more sad because in US, this is a Hindu temple organization head only is speaking like that to them. That's more painful for me.
Because they see you as a competitor.
Yeah.
They are trying to attract people, and you are trying to attract people. So then
Now,
some politics will happen.
true. Prabhu. That is the thing now. Yeah. Yeah.
We
Thank
have
you,
to live
Prabhuji.
with all these things.
Yes, we have to. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes,
Thank you
Madhya.
so much for the class. One last question, Prabhuji. So my question is, you said the atheists, they were so close to the congregational chanting and pure chanting, and they were actually able to witness the Lord himself. So that pure devotional activities running around them did not have any effect. Like, does that mean that uh, is there a criteria that we should work upon ourselves to get rid of envy? That's the basic criteria to have mercy, to develop any sort of spiritual interest.
Yeah, if you're absolutely inimical to the Lord and his devotees and any activity connected with the Lord, then it's very difficult.
So, but
Very, very difficult.
the presence of Lord himself will not have any effect on us, on
Definitely it will
on the
have.
atheist.
Definitely it will have, but not to the extent that we think.
Okay, yeah, because it has repeated in the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's era, and it has again repeated back when I remember Krishna himself when he gives his. Um, uh,
You can simply ask this question: why didn't Chaitanya Mahaprabhu deliver everyone?
yeah. Yeah, why didn't he give that holy names to everyone?
Is it not? So
Yeah, that's true.
understand that. So mercy is given to everyone, but these people are all the buckets that are folded upside down. So it will not fall. If you open your bucket and keep, mercy will fill in that, right? You put the
Yeah.
bucket upside down and sit. What will happen? Mercy will fall on the bucket and flow away.
Is our ego so big that we can't be influenced by the God?
Absolutely. There are people like that. I'm sure you would have come across, if you are a preacher, you will come across all those type of people.
So I'm asking this question because the people around me, like, they don't have belief on scripture. So will they ever stand a chance to come into this path? But I slowly see that they started believing, and they also start little bit practices here and there. But does that
This is
mean?
all happening. This is not none of this is an accident. They are in their position because of their previous karmas. Their behavior is because they are being influenced by the three modes of material nature. Again, they are being influenced by the three modes of material nature in a particular way because of their past karma. You see, so there is a whole big thing working behind each and every person that whom we see. It's not as simple as we think. Many places, Srila Prabhupada says that the laws of karma are very complex. Beyond our comprehension, it is complex. So how it is working on each and every person, we don't know.
Yes, that's true.
So a person behaving in a particular way, we can't just box him and he's a non-believer. He is not going to get any mercy. Not like that. Because of
Yes.
so many karmas, they are in that position. Today is a non-believer. But something may flip and he may become a believer. So our job is to keep trying that.
Yes, yes, yeah. Okay. Thank you,
At the
Prabhuji.
same time, because we have very limited time, we cannot try with the same person throughout our life.
Yes, but also it puts us back sometimes, explaining the same things back and back again.
Exactly. So you should have a time limit or a number of times limit where you try to convince a particular person.
But although it's
Should
part
move
of our
on to
life,
the
right? They live around us, and they have problems with us believing on the scripture. So it's part of our life. We can't just run away. God put us in a position.
but then you should have a pact of coexistence. I do what I do, you do what you do.
That's true. That's
It's
true.
very difficult if it is a
Sometimes I feel
wife who
like
is
it
a
is a test
practitioner, and
upon me. Sometimes
it's very
I feel
difficult if it is within the family.
yes, sometimes it feels that Lord is really testing me through this, whether I will still continue or whether I will flip back. Chances are there, right?
Absolutely. Lord is not testing, Maya is testing.
Yeah,
We are not so important that the Lord will directly test us.
that's true. That's true.
Maya is testing us because she has to make sure that before she gives pass mark, that we
That's
are
true. That's
really
true. That's true. The challenge is to just keep our firm developing at every stage and continue ourselves rather than
yes.
trying to build others bhakti.
We all have to become like that drop of water on the lotus leaf.
True, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Easier said than done, but that's what we are supposed to become.
True, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you so much.
Krishna. Go
Very,
ahead,
very.
Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Just wanted to thank Prabhuji for the deep class filled with realizations as always. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very nicely discussed about Pashandis and about how at the end of the day, the receiver, the recipient should be either neutral or willing, right? So if there is so much negativity, it becomes very difficult. Thank you so much. That actually answers a lot of questions. Even in the case of Ajamal, I was just thinking he was just neutral. It is not that he was very, very negative. So it still worked on him. But if we are like Duryodhan, he saw Krishna face to face, but nothing happened in his heart. So thank you, Prabhu. That was a very nice realization. And the entire class was very thought-provoking. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your association.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. If nobody have any question and if your permission is there, shall we end the call? Sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for very, very thoughtful class. And we are very, very grateful to you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to your services and you. And now we look forward to your association again in future very soon. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai. His Grace Govardhan Giridas Prabhuji ki jai. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Dhamma Pranam
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank
Krishna,
you so
Prabhuji.
much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.